Good evening, YouTube. This is Rob Pollard. Ancient Armies has hit quite a major milestone now in that the units can actually accept orders now, and they can actually move. So we actually see them uh, moving for the first time under their own steam, as it were. Now, to put this into the game required a huge amount of work. I had to put in an orders framework. I had to put in the artificial intelligence framework. I had to put in a special gaming loop, map overlays, unit selection framework. A whole bunch of bits and bobs went in. And I'm quite pleased because all these frameworks that have gone in will make the addition of subsequent orders relatively easy. It's just a case of following the rules of the framework, as it were. Right now I only have one order programmed, and that's just to move forward, and currently only the human player can issue it. The way I've decided to design the game, it's going to be one where player 1 makes their plans, player 2 makes their plans, and then you hit play and the game plays for 15 seconds of game time, and both players can watch what's going on in that 15 seconds and even participate when or if combat is initiated. To produce an engine that could do that held a lot of challenges, because if you run on different computers, games will generally run at different speeds unless you do something about it. So I've coded the render loop in such a way that it takes hardware into account, so you can run this on a fast PC or a slow PC and everything will still work at the correct speed. In addition, I've also provided time compression facility, so you can speed up or slow down time for whatever you'd like to see. So what I'll do, I'll issue a set of orders to an infantry unit, and we'll just have a look at that moving, and then we'll play with a lot more units. So let's have a look at this infantry unit down here. Infantry 2. Now the framework allows one to select multiple units, but I've only surfaced a single unit selection in the user interface. But to select them, you either right click to bring the speed menu up, or alternatively you can just left click on the unit to select it. So we're going to order this unit to move forwards at its normal rate, which is, like I say, the only order I've currently got in the system. So our normal rates. When you do that, you get this movement arrow. Now, though I can move my cursor anywhere, the movement arrow is constrained on the bearing that the unit's facing, because in Ancient Armies you have to issue a wheel or turn order in order to get your units to turn, and turning a formation can have an impact on that formation in terms of cohesion and things. And putting the order down is as simple as clicking, and that's it. The system is fairly advanced in that you can chain orders, so I can add another order to this. So here we go. Then this particular unit now has 2 orders, and as it proceeds and does order 1, it will remove that order from its queue once it's complete, and then it will start on to order 2. Now, the order system is being built from the ground up to support artificial intelligence, and it already does some prioritization in terms of what it runs, although right now the AI inputs are disconnected. So okay, we've given this unit some orders, so what does it look like moving? Let's go and hit the play button and watch. So there you go, it's now moving. I see it seems to be moving relatively slowly, but that's about the speed that a tightly packed formation of infantry will move. Now, I have to say, there's still a lot more work to put into the movement system. It doesn't yet know what terrain it's on, even though the map reports that back, and it doesn't understand how to do a unit collision yet, but it will do. If we zoom in closer, you can see the actual movement to a better effect. Now, I've done measurements for the watch and measurements using the in-game ruler, and it seems pretty spot on to the way it's supposed to be calculated at 15 seconds, and using the built-in speeds, they seem to be moving the correct distances. And that's great because I've tested this on a variety of hardware and it seems to work really well. And because I put a fair amount of time and effort in coding the gaming loop, it quite easily supports time compression. So if you find that's a bit too slow, you can up the ante. So let's go for times 5. This is 5 times normal speed. Still a bit slow. Or we can go for 10 times, 20 times. And if you're really impatient, you can go all the way up to 50 times, and it literally flies by on its 15 second slots. I suspect most players will want to play it at something like that speed. Now note, when this unit gets to the end of its first order, it will realise that it's completed it because it has completion criteria, and then it removes that order from its queue, which it's now done, and then it picks up the next order in the queue, which in this case is another move forward. So it's all pretty advanced stuff. The only thing I have to show you is, I don't know if you've noticed, I've put a whole bunch of units from 2 armies, complete with allies, and what we'll do now, just to give the system a bit of a stress test, I'll give them all some movement orders, and then we'll move them around, and you can see it, everyone moving together then. So here we go, let's get these movement orders in. Now in reality in the game, you'll only be taking charge of one side anyway, and in addition to single orders like this, there'll be like whole formation orders. Plus there's a few other things which I don't really want to discuss now, but the long shot is you won't be giving out as many direct orders like this as you think you might be, because of the way the game system will work. So let's carry on adding these, and then we can show you them all moving together. So yeah, this is absolute major breakthrough. Effectively it signals the transition from what has effectively been a data modeling exercise to actually making the game itself, because this is all game code effectively. So this is the first video of the system where things are moving under their own power, and although it's a human, i.e. me, giving the orders, at the end of the day it's because it's going through the artificial intelligence system, it's the artificial intelligence that's driving the units based on the orders I've given it, but it has the capability to also issue its own orders. So here we go, we've issued all those orders. Let's see what they look like. We're at times 10 speed, but here it goes. See? It handles that really easily. Or we can go down to times 1 speed so you can see what it looks like in real time. You see it's all a bit slow, but that's the real walking speed, as it were. So each turn's approximately 15 seconds long. So 1-to-1 compression, you're waiting approximately 15 seconds. Take it up to 10 times compression. You can see the units all whizzing along. Yeah, I guess the hardest part of the engine was making it work with multiple units over different time compressions, and having each unit do a little slice of its orders. That was fairly tricky. As I say, the hard bit's done now. The architecture is now in place. It's now, all I have to do now is literally go through all the orders I want to add to the game and just add them to the framework using the tools that are already there. But in terms of what I already have, like I say, I still need to code it so that it knows what kind of terrain it's going through, because that will affect speed, and it can affect collision detection as well, which we don't have in the game just yet. So I see major milestone. This is the first time that Ancient Armies in any form has had the ability to, as a game, move the units under its own power. That's it. I hope the video's proved informative. It certainly cast some light as to, I guess, some of the game mechanics. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.